Power is a game. It's a game that has been played for centuries across different cultures and civilizations. From the ancient empires of Rome and Egypt to the modern political landscapes, the rules of this game have remained strikingly similar. It's a game with high stakes. The stakes are not just material wealth or territorial gains, but also the intangible assets of influence and control. The players in this game are often willing to risk everything, including their lives, to come out on top. The winners gain control, influence, and the ability to shape the world. They become the architects of history, the ones who write the narratives that future generations will learn. Their decisions can lead to the rise and fall of entire nations. The losers? They fade into obscurity, or worse, become victims. Their stories are often forgotten, their legacies tarnished. In the ruthless game of power, there is little room for second chances or redemption. We like to think that nice guys finish first. It's a comforting thought, one that aligns with our moral values and ethical beliefs. We want to believe that kindness and integrity will be rewarded. But history tells a different story. The annals of history are filled with examples of ruthless leaders who have risen to power through cunning and deceit. These individuals often outmaneuver their more ethical counterparts. It's a story where the cunning and the ruthless often rise to the top. They understand the intricacies of power dynamics and are willing to exploit them to their advantage. Their actions may be morally questionable, but they are undeniably effective. This is the uncomfortable truth that Niccolò Machiavelli dared to expose. In his seminal work, The Prince, Machiavelli laid bare the harsh realities of political power. He argued that the ends often justify the means. In the ruthless world of power, good intentions are not enough. While noble ideals are admirable, they can be a hindrance in the cutthroat arena of political maneuvering. Those who cling to their morals may find themselves outmatched and outmaneuvered. Morality, while admirable, can be a liability. It can make you predictable and easy to manipulate. In a world where power is the ultimate currency, those who are willing to bend or break the rules often have the upper hand. This is a hard truth to swallow, especially for those who strive to be ethical and just. It challenges our fundamental beliefs about right and wrong, forcing us to confront the darker aspects of human nature. But ignoring this reality leaves you vulnerable. It makes you an easy target for those who are more ruthless and cunning. In the game of power, naivety can be a fatal flaw. You become easy prey for those who play the game without scruples. They will exploit your weaknesses and use your principles against you. In the end, you may find yourself betrayed and defeated. Machiavelli understood this dynamic centuries ago. He observed the political machinations of his time and distilled his insights into a guidebook for aspiring leaders. His work remains a cornerstone of political theory. His masterpiece, The Prince, is a cold, hard look at the nature of power. It strips away the illusions and lays bare the brutal truths. It is a manual for those who seek to navigate the treacherous waters of political life. It's a guidebook for those who want to acquire power and keep it. It offers practical advice on how to outmaneuver rivals, secure loyalty, and maintain control. It is not for the faint of heart. It's not a manual for saints. It does not concern itself with moral righteousness or ethical purity. Instead, it focuses on the pragmatic realities of power and the strategies needed to wield it effectively. It's a blueprint for survival. In a world where power is constantly contested, those who are unprepared are quickly swept aside. Machiavelli's insights provide a roadmap for navigating this perilous landscape. The lessons of The Prince are as relevant today as they were in Renaissance Italy. The dynamics of power have not changed, even if the players in the arenas have. The principles Machiavelli outlined continue to resonate in modern politics and business. From the boardroom to the political arena, the principles Machiavelli outlined still hold true. Leaders today can learn much from his observations and apply them to their own contexts. Understanding these principles is not about condoning immorality. It is about recognizing the realities of power and preparing oneself to navigate them. It is about being equipped to protect oneself and one's interests. It's about arming yourself with the knowledge to navigate the complexities of power. Knowledge is power, and understanding the rules of the game is the first step to mastering it. It's about learning to protect yourself and your interests in a world where not everyone fights fair. In the end, the game of power is one that requires both strategy and resilience. Machiavelli was a realist. He was not interested in idealistic visions of how the world should be. Instead, he focused on the harsh realities of political life. His observations were grounded in the tumultuous times he lived in. He lived in a time of brutal power struggles. The 16th century was marked by constant warfare and shifting alliances. The Italian city-states were in a perpetual state of conflict, each vying for dominance. Italy in the 16th century was a viper's nest of political intrigue. The landscape was dotted with fortified cities and castles, each a stronghold of power and ambition. The courts were filled with scheming nobles and ambitious politicians. Betrayal, assassination, and shifting alliances were the norm. Trust was a rare commodity, and loyalty was often bought and sold. Secret meetings and covert operations were everyday occurrences. Machiavelli, a keen observer of human nature, saw firsthand the dark side of power. He spent years in the service of the Florentine Republic, where he witnessed the ruthless tactics employed by those in power. He didn't shy away from this reality, he embraced it. Machiavelli believed that understanding the true nature of power was essential for any ruler who wished to maintain control. He dissected the strategies of successful rulers, both past and present. He studied the actions of historical figures and contemporary leaders, analyzing their methods and outcomes. He observed that those who clung to traditional morality often met with unfortunate ends. In a world where power was the ultimate goal, moral scruples were seen as weaknesses. They were outmaneuvered, betrayed, and destroyed by more pragmatic rivals. Those who were willing to be ruthless and cunning often emerged victorious. The Prince is a product of this unflinching realism. It is a manual for rulers who understand that the pursuit of power often requires difficult and morally ambiguous decisions. It's a handbook for rulers who understand that the ends often justify the means. Machiavelli's work provides a pragmatic approach to governance, one that prioritizes results over ideals. It's a guide for those who are willing to do what it takes to survive and thrive in a world where morality is often a luxury they cannot afford. Machiavelli's insights remain relevant today, offering a sobering reminder of the complexities of power and the often harsh realities of political life. One of Machiavelli's most enduring insights is the power of fear. He believed that fear, when used wisely, could be the ultimate tool for maintaining control and order within a society. He argued that fear is a far more effective tool of control than love. Love, while powerful, can be unpredictable and may wane over time. While love is fickle and fleeting, fear is visceral and enduring. It taps into the primal instincts of survival, making it a more reliable means of ensuring loyalty and obedience. A ruler who is loved may be respected, but a ruler who is feared is obeyed. Fear commands a level of seriousness and urgency that love simply cannot match. Fear keeps people in line. It prevents rebellions. It ensures compliance. When people are afraid of the consequences, they are less likely to challenge authority. This doesn't mean that a ruler should strive to be hated. Hatred can lead to unrest and eventual downfall. Cruelty for its own sake is counterproductive. It is important to balance fear with a sense of justice and fairness. The key is to inspire a healthy dose of fear, enough to command respect and discourage dissent. This fear should be tempered with wisdom and a clear sense of purpose. A ruler must be willing to use force when necessary, but they must also know how to wield it strategically. The judicious use of fear can be a powerful motivator, ensuring stability and order in the realm. Machiavelli doesn't advocate for outright immorality. He acknowledges the importance of appearing virtuous. However, he warns against letting moral considerations cripple your ability to act decisively. In the game of power, hesitation can be fatal. While your enemies are plotting, you can't afford to be paralyzed by ethical dilemmas. Good people often fail in power struggles because they overestimate the goodness of others. They believe that their opponents will play by the same rules. This is a fatal miscalculation. Ruthless operators will exploit your morality, using your sense of fairness against you. Section 5, the art of strategic ruthlessness. To survive in a Machiavellian world, you need to develop a capacity for ruthlessness. Now, this doesn't mean becoming a tyrant. It means being willing to make tough choices, even if those choices are unpleasant or unpopular. Sometimes you need to be ruthless in your dealings with enemies. You need to anticipate their moves and counter them before they gain the upper hand. This might involve deception, manipulation, or even force. The key is to use these tools strategically, not sadistically. Section 6. Perception is reality, mastering the art of image control. In the realm of power, perception is everything. What people believe is often more important than what is actually true. Machiavelli understood this. He stressed the importance of cultivating a public persona that projects strength, competence, and, when necessary, virtue. This doesn't mean being fake. It means being aware of how your actions are perceived and adjusting your behavior accordingly. It means controlling the narrative, framing your decisions in a way that bolsters your position. Remember, the masses are easily swayed by appearances. A skilled manipulator of perception can control the hearts and minds of the public. Section 7. Adapting Machiavelli for the modern world. The world has changed since Machiavelli's time. Outright brutality is no longer an acceptable method of rule in most cases. However, the core principles of Machiavellian thought remain strikingly relevant. We still live in a world where power is contested, where rivals scheme and plot. While the methods may have evolved, the fundamental dynamics of power remain the same. To succeed in this environment, you need to be adaptable, strategic, and yes, even a little bit ruthless. Section 8. Can good people win the power game? The question that haunts us is this: can you be a good person and still win the power game? Can you achieve great things without compromising your values? The answer, as with most things in life, is complex. It's a tightrope walk. You need to be pragmatic without becoming jaded. You need to be willing to fight for what you believe in, but you also need to know when to compromise. The key is to hold on to your values while developing a keen understanding of the Machiavellian game. Section 9. The heavy price of power. The pursuit of power is not for the faint of heart. It's a path fraught with danger, both physical and moral. Even if you succeed in acquiring power, the challenges are far from over. Maintaining power requires constant vigilance. It demands sacrifices. You must be willing to make difficult decisions that may weigh heavily on your conscience. You must be prepared to face betrayal, envy, and the relentless machinations of your enemies. The price of power is high. The question is, are you willing to pay it? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to Kelvin Yassi's YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment.